Hey guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're back on the 308. We have a whole host of jobs to get done on that one today. One specifically, I need to get this one out to an event tomorrow, so I need to get that 308 operational and moved off the drive so I can get this one out of the garage. Anyway, let's crack on with the jobs. Grab yourself one of these, kick back and enjoy the show. Before we get the spanners out on the 308, I have a request for some help. A YouTube buddy of mine is looking for a Ferrari. Now, it's a bit of a tall order. He needs a sub $30,000 Ferrari, not a Ferrari module, anything else, 308, 456, anything better than that. Now, the car doesn't have to be pristine. It can be really shabby. It just needs to be a running, driving car. If you've got any leads anywhere around the world, ideally in America would be perfect, please send those through to my email address and I'll pass those leads on. Thanks guys. One of the jobs we need to finish off today is the front bumper. Now, if you remember, we have the front brackets there from Superformance. We also have the Euro conversion front bumper here, again from Superformance. So we're going to be bolting those in place. Now, I left off last video saying that I want to try and keep this as factory as possible, and we are going to be mounting some brackets here, which is simply a case of putting some bars there that slot into here. And that is exactly how the Euro cars were done from factory. Now, I've got an array of different size bars here that I've ordered up. Some nice solid ones. These ones are a bit too small. Basically, we have found that this one here is absolutely perfect. A real nice, tight, snug fit there. So this is the one. We're going to offer this up to the car, mark up where we need to weld those two bars, and then one's going over here, one's going over here, and hopefully that's job done for the front bumper. Let's start off by installing the brackets on the bumper. Now, I've made a mark on the center of the car. We've also made a mark on the center of the bumper. We're going to simply line the two up. That's our centered bumper right there. Then we need to be 2 inches out. I'm going to measure that up, and then I'm going to take my marker pen, mark up the frame, the brackets in place. We're going to put an alignment mark on each of those so I know exactly where to weld the two bars to the frame. That's our brackets all welded into place, so let's see if it's worked. Oh, just in time as well, it's starting to rain in typical British fashion. Okay, a little jig over here. There we go. That one there. Perfect, a nice snug finish. Yep, just come up to about there, and there you go. Happy with that, really, really cool. I'm just going to bolt everything up now, and then we just need to fit all the side lights in. And yeah, pretty much done on the front end. The final job we need to do on the front bumper is transfer over these side lights. Now, as usual with this car, nothing is simply bolt on and straightforward. This is the old one from the other unit. This is actually a spare set that I had with the Euro bumper. I've got the American one down there as well. So between the two, we've got a good set. But as you can see here, we've got a tab on the side there. That slots into a little bit on the bumper, and then we got a bracket. So two things I need to do on the Super Performance one. Number one, I'm making an incision down here, and number two, I need to just transfer over this bracket and mount it here on both sides. As usual with these old Ferraris, we've got a rusted little nut here, and I don't want to strip anything. These are expensive units, these side lights. So I'm going to use some of this stuff. This has been recommended, so we're going to spray a bit of that on there, leave it to penetrate, and hopefully keep this all intact. I do need to make a little repair on this. It's got damaged, the cable's got damaged on it, so let's get it out first. I am just cleaning up the rubber seals. This one I borrowed, or I robbed it from the US indicator housing. It's a nice, good, clean one. So the one on the original was a little bit perished. So once I've done this, we'll bolt those lenses in place. In fact, I'm going to put the bumper on the car first, just in case I drop it. And then finally, we'll put those lenses in place. Cool. Lovely. Behind. Better. Always good never to over tighten these things because it just cracks the plastic. See a lot of these cracked. So there you go, guys. The front end is pretty much done. I need to obviously bolt in all of this. Have a little adjustment on everything and dry these out. I need to find that other screw for that one, but front end is looking good. We're now ready to move to the back of the car and do some jobs, but the weather has a different plan. It's pouring out there. The job I needed to do specifically was the brackets to hang the rear of the exhaust. Now that means welding, and welding is not going to happen in this weather, so we need to wait for it to blow over. Let's see what we can do about this weather. Magic wand, magic horse. Sunshine, that's what we need. With the exhaust all bolted into place, the final job is to remount these brackets. Now, as expected, it's all different at the back there. The frame is different. The mounting points are completely different on the Euro car compared to the US car. So let's get down there and just see what space we have to work with. And this is what we are looking at. So this is our bracket on the back box, the muffler itself. This is the hanging bracket that this part needs to be welded to the frame. Then we got a spring, and then this part here attaches to this. Now, as you can see, if I give you, for a start, that won't go up there without removing the valance. This is where I really kind of need to see a Euro QV ideally, because all the cars are slightly different with the exhaust system. So I need to really mark this one up with where this valance is actually hitting the frame, and then we'll take it from there. Stay with me if you want it. Stay with me if you want it. Stay with me if you want it. Despite measuring up at the back of the car, I have to admit I am totally stumped with this one. I cannot figure out how to mount this to the back of my US spec car with that Euro valance in place. So this is where I really need access to a Euro QV to see how Ferrari did it at factory. This is where I love being a YouTuber. We as automotive YouTubers try and help each other out. So I've reached out to a fantastic channel called Heidi and Franny's Garage, who happen to have a Euro QV in their garage and have agreed to help me out, take some measurements, and hopefully together we can figure out how this is going to fit onto my car. Let me hand you over to them.
Hi everybody, I'm Franny.
And I'm Heidi.
And this is our garage.
This is Heidi and Franny's Garage, and we have a small YouTube channel that is focused on our own personal cars, which are 4 Porsches, a BMW i8, and a Ferrari 308.
So I was watching a recent video of Scott's, and he was putting in a muffler in his 308, and he was having some issues converting it over, and I thought, you know what, I can go take some pictures of our car. So I did and sent them to him, and he's been super sweet, and now he wants to put us on his channel a little bit. So thank you so much, Scott. Thanks for that.
Franny is the wrencher on our channel, and she loves to do how-to DIY type of videos, as well as occasional vlog or two of our friends' cars that sometimes make it into our garage.
Right. So we have a 1969 Volkswagen Beetle in the garage now, and I'm going through and doing quite a bit of work on that, brakes and bearings and all sorts of stuff, and that's our latest set of videos. But we want to get back to the 308. We've got suspension we want to do and several other things to that car as well. So that's coming up on our channel.
Yes, we also have a big 911 project car that we've been working through, and we'll be getting back to that as well. Once again, wanted to say a quick thank you to Scott for having us as a special guest on his channel.
Thank you so much, Scott. All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much, ladies. Okay, let's jump in and have a look at the footage that they've kindly shot from their Euro spec 308. Now, you can straight away see at the back here, it's very much different to the US spec car. Now, this bar in particular, where the bracket mounts to, it's a lot slimmer than the beefed up version that I have on my car, which I suspect was all to do with the US regulations for all that crash protection at the back of the car. Now again, you can see it's got so much more space around there. Straight away, if you look at the bracket on mine and with that spring-loaded mount, mine hits the valance above. This one is not even wound all the way down. With mine, the collar is wound right in and it's still causing a problem. Now, here you can see another very interesting thing. I couldn't work out why mine was collecting water in the valance. Now, it's all still not finished there, but the factory one, you can see, has a drain plug. So we need to integrate that into mine. So much space around that. Mine, if I can get it in there, is going to be extremely tight, if not impossible. So very nice to see that how it was done at factory. Now here they have taken some measurements for me, and that is different to my 82 GTSI car. That's about 15 centimeters away, and on my other one it was slightly closer. Now it's interesting to see on here, you know, just how intricate that exhaust wraps around all the framework on the QV. It's a very different design to any of the earlier 308 models, so it's really squeezed tightly into the car on these. And the interesting part about this exhaust system that Heidi and Franny have got on their car is it's a factory one, so you can see the side mounting points are slightly different to the sports box that I've put on mine. You can really see it here. So we again need to make a very tiny modification there and maybe spin around that bracket that holds that in place. The other interesting thing to note here is the cables you can see there. That is the handbrake. Now, I haven't even attempted to reattach the handbrake to this car, but I got a feeling we're gonna have another big problem with that as well. And this final part that they have kindly videoed for me that I've asked them to do is to check that rear firewall in that engine bay before it gets to the trunk. Now, I removed that big corrugated iron sheet. I looked at my other car, it wasn't on there, and it was always a question whether or not it should have had something there from factory. So as you can see on their car, there is nothing there at all. You can see that framework and you've kind of got that mottled paintwork. So that clears up that query, and that's how my car is going to get finished when I get in there and start detailing the engine bay. After comparing the footage from that Euro car with my car, I think it's going to be virtually impossible to fit these brackets onto that car. Now, I haven't fully given up yet, but in the meantime, I want to show you a possible different solution to the problem. Now, if we come into my Ratarossa, let's put that here so it doesn't crash down on my head. And this is a solution I had to implement on this car. So, as you know, we put a sports exhaust on the Testarossa. They sound rubbish without something nice back here. Factory solution is terrible. So part of doing that, we put a sports exhaust from a Euro car onto the American spec, which meant we've got American spec manifolds down here. We got rid of the cats, we got some straight through pipes built up, and then we married that up to the sports exhaust. So all completely different. But one of the things I discovered when I was doing the research on this, let me just grab a torch, is if you look down here, this part here is where this exact one here, this came off the car, bolts into place. Now if you look at that, it is the same part as used on the 308. Now this is used between the US and the Euro cars. On the US exhaust system, it uses these. On the Euro ones, when I did my research, it changes. So they hang from a bracket up here. So we had a bracket made up, but the way it hangs is on one of these things. It's a little rubber bobbin. It's called a bobbin. Nothing like this at all, so a completely different solution. So I am wondering, if you look at the profile of this, it's a lot smaller than this. So I might try and implement one of these onto the 308. Now, this has been on the car for 18 months and I've had zero problems with it. So if it's good enough for this thing, it could well be good enough for the 308. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. While I figure out a solution to that exhaust dilemma, there is one thing I really need to do today, and that is move this 308 off the driveway so I can get the Testarossa out and use it at an event tomorrow. However, this is no mean feat. I put this car here at the beginning of lockdown, which is almost 6 months ago. It's not started since then, and we've also drastically changed the car. So let's see how good this 1983 308 is. Let's bolt on a couple of bits, let's hook up the electronics and see if we can get it started. Okay, let's put that on there. Can go in there. Okay, moment of truth, let's see if it works. Little pump of the gas down there. Oh, yay! Well guys, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I'm going to go away, pull my hair out somewhat more and try and figure out a solution to this exhaust hanging problem. If you guys though have any other suggestions, please write them in the comments below. In the meantime, I want to say a massive big thank you to Heidi and Franny for taking the time to video their Euro QV. Please go and check their channel out. It is fantastic. They have some very similar cars. They got the 308, they got the early Porsches on there and some other really cool stuff. So I'll put the link in the description below for those guys. In the meantime, you can check out my Instagram, where I post on a daily basis some of the things I get up to with this array of toys. And don't forget, please, if you've got any leads on sub $30,000 Ferraris that are running, driving, they can look terrible, but if you've got anything, send them through and I will pass them across. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you very shortly in the next one. Ciao for now.